Thanks for being here, you guys. Okay, so what you'll need tonight is a variety of props. I have a foam roller, a block, bolsters, and a rolled up towel. I don't know if we'll actually use all of them, but I aim to. But I want to start standing and do a little balance work, heating us before we come to the floor. So make your way to mountain pose. Feet together or hips width, shoulders back and arms at your sides. Start to breathe through your nose. Breathe long, slow, and deep. Let's bring one hand onto the chest and the other onto your belly. And breathe. As you inhale, breathe and really push your hand out. And you'll feel your chest lift, of course, but really aiming for that expansion across the abdominal wall. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Lift your kneecaps, firm your thigh muscles, relax your shoulders, and tuck your butt under just a bit, stand upright and tall, and take 3 more breaths like this. And as you do, hand on your chest, on your heart, give yourself some encouragement, some friendliness, and then share that friendliness with your pets that might be joining you for class tonight. Release your hands to your side, step your feet wider than hips width, and we're going to rotate. So I call this washing machine. Your arms can be as loose as feels appropriate for you, and your shoulders, breathing through your nose. If you feel really tight in your knees or your hips, you are welcome to lift and alternate heels. That might give you a nice amount of freedom and flexibility. And the movement doesn't have to be coordinated with the breath. Let your head turn as naturally as makes sense for you in this practice. And with your eyes closed, imagine being outside in the sun. Maybe you're even transported back to the 8-year-old you. So come at this with childlike wonder. And let's twist 3 more times each side. Don't want it to end. Last round. Make your way back to center. If you're feeling dizzy, open your eyes. Otherwise, bring your attention inward. This is the concept of pratyahara. Withdraw of external input, bring your attention inward to focus on yourself. Notice how you feel after only a couple of minutes standing and making a couple movements. Feel the energy, feel the shift, feel your heart rate. Okay, eyes open. Top of your mat for salute to the sun. Feet hips width apart. I'm going to break it down into a warm up. Start hands, palms at your heart. Mountain pose. Lengthen your toes forward, drop your tail, firm your thighs. And on an inhale, arms out and up, palms touch overhead. Extend back, look back. Bend your knees, fold forward, bring your fingers to your shins. Straighten your legs, your spine, and look forward. Push your hands into the shins. Bend your knees and fold more over the legs, hinging at the hips. Press into the floor and rise up. Squeeze firm the legs, your butt, reach up, palms touch, back bend, and hands come to heart center. So this is a half sun salute. Again, inhale, arms out and up. Extend back. Forward fold, bend your knees, stomach in. Hands to the shins, come up part way. Fold forward, bend the knees. Arms out and up, reach. Return to stand, palms touch overhead, arch back. Hands, palms to prayer. On the breath, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands to shins, inhale, come halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hands to prayer. Adding on, inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold. Fingers to the floor, come up halfway. Bend your knees, left leg back, palms flat, right foot back, plank. Knees to the mat if you need to, legs together. Bend your elbows and lower to the mat all the way. Push your toes into the floor, elbows in, shoulders back, come up to low cobra. Squeeze firm the thighs, low cobra. Lower to the mat. Turn your toes under, lift your knees, firm the thighs, and push up. Shift into downward dog. Walk your feet forward a couple of inches. Push the floor away, index finger and thumb. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Step left foot forward, right foot forward, fold. Inhale and come all the way up. Arms all the way overhead, palms touch, hands to prayer. Stomach in, shoulders back, firm the thighs. So there's a lot of alignment points happening. Shoulders over hips, a little posterior tilt of the pelvis. So you push your butt forward just a bit. Firm the thighs, weight in the heels. And again, arms up, back bend. Forward fold, exhale. As you're able, keep the legs straight, hands to the floor. Inhale, come up part way. Bend your knees and right leg back, palms flat, left leg back to plank. Shift your weight forward. Hug the legs together. Bend your elbows lower and hover. If you need to put your knees down, do it. Lower and hover, firm the thighs. Come to the top of the feet, straighten your arms, and come to upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, roll over the toes, push the floor away, and walk your feet in just a bit. You know, make your adjustments. Firm the thighs, firm the triceps, broaden your chest. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Right foot forward, left foot forward, fold. And rise up, arms out and up. Hands to prayer. Pause. Again, attention inward. Lift your navel point, the lower abdominal wall, in towards your spine. And again, sun salute. Arms up, back bend. Forward fold. Inhale, come up part way. Step or jump feet back, plank, bend the elbows lower, hover. Chaturanga Dandasana, the four angled pose. Roll up over the toes, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. This is our Sanskrit. Lift your heels, straighten your arms, bend your knees, look forward, knees together, and hop your feet between your hands, fold. Rise up, inhale. Palms touch, hands to prayer. One more. This is Sun Salute A on the breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump back. Land in chaturanga, elbows bent. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Exhale it out. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Feet between the hands, forward fold. And inhale to rise. Arms up, back bend, hands to prayer. Arms down, pause here. All right. Step back about, I don't know, a third the way on your mat. This is called Param Dharam Karam, kriya. So we're going to, in one move, step the right foot back into a lunge, arms up. Not a super deep lunge, just kind of a basic lunge. Bring all of your weight into your left foot, hands, palms to the heart. Lift your right foot into dancing Shiva. So it's sort of like tree, except your foot is bent, your leg is bent and lifted. Step the right foot down, reach your right arm forward into an archer position. So you're striking forward with your right hand and the weight is now in your right foot. Step your feet back together and create a bowl with your hands. Okay? Step your left foot back, arms up. Lunge position. Bring your hands, palms to your heart. The weight in the right foot into the dancing Shiva position. Balance. Bring your left foot forward, left arm forward into the archer position. Action. Step back, feet together, hands in the bowl. Receiving and surrender of outcome. So this is a kriya of action, showing up and action. So let's do this again. Step right foot back, arms up. Here I am, universe. Bring your hands, palms to prayer. Lift your right leg, dancing Shiva. I'm here, I'm ready for the cosmic dance. Got to put some action into it. Right foot forward, archer pose, action. Step your right foot back, feet together, surrender. Left leg back, arms up. Here I am. Bring the weight into the right foot. Lift your left and balance. Prayer hands. Left foot forward, archer. Strike forward with your left arm. Pull your bow back, ready, focused. Feet together and hands in the bowl to receive. And again, right foot back, big step, arms up. Look up. Bring the weight into your left foot, dancing Shiva, hands, palms to prayer. Right foot forward, archer pose. Pull your bow, pull, strong, focused. Hands to the bowl, feet together. Surrender. Left side, left leg back, arms up. Here I am. Step into dancing Shiva, hands, palms to prayer. Nice and strong. Balanced. Left foot forward, left arm forward, draw the bow. Step back, feet together, and hands in the receive position. So this is a kriya of goal, like having something in mind, whether it is, a personal, like I'm ready to wake up in the morning and read, for half an hour every day. Like this is the kind of kriya that manifests such things. But remember, you're also at the mercy of the outcome is out of your control. So you're in the receiving pose. So we're going to run through that a bunch more times, and I'll just talk you through it. So from this starting position, somewhere kind of the middle of your mat, as you settle in before we move back into the kriya, bring something to mind that you would like to manifest. Maybe this is, even action towards somebody else, or something at home, like I want to have the discipline to make my bed every day. Okay, something quite mundane. So here we go. Step right foot back, arms up into the lunge. Here I am, I'm ready. I'm gonna make my bed every day. Step into the left foot, dancing Shiva, hands, palms to prayer. Lift your right leg, balance. Step your right foot forward, draw back your bow. So you're lunging again into action. Feet back together, hands in the receiving position. Surrender. Left foot back, step back, arms up. Here I am. Bring the weight into the right foot, dancing Shiva, hands, palms to prayer. Lift your left leg. Step your left foot forward, archer. Got to put in some work. Got to put in some work to make my bed every day. Step back, feet together, and hands in receiving. Inhale, step back, right foot. Reach. Balance, dancing Shiva, right leg up. Right foot forward, archer. Strong arms, focused, ready. Step back. Resolution. Left side. Left leg back, arms up. Balance, cosmic dance. Left foot forward, archer, action. Feet together and hands, palms open. Let's do two more to each side. Right leg back, step back, arms up. Balance, right leg up. See how much you can flex your right foot. Step your right foot forward very gently and draw back your bow. Feet back together, receiving hands. Left foot back, open the arms. Dancing Shiva, balance on the right leg, left leg up, flex your foot. Step forward, draw back, right hand pulls back, open the chest, open your heart. Feet together. One more round. Right leg back, arms up. Right foot lift, hands, palms to prayer. Shoulders over hips. Step your right foot forward, draw back the arrow. Can you draw your belly in and reach? Feet back together and hands, palms receive. Last side, open. Balance. Balance, stable, stable, stable. Left foot forward, focused. Feet back together, hands in the receiving position. Close your eyes. Bring your hands, palms together and rub your palms. Rub your palms, create some friction, some heat. Take your hands, palms over your eyes. And release. All right. That was kind of a different kind of warm up, but with an intention behind it. Standing mountain pose. Grab your right shin. So we've already done a little bit of balancing tonight. Right shin, right hand. Take your left arm out and open your right knee to the right. Notice if you're not like engaged on the left side, you kind of get loosey-goosey. So engage the thigh muscles, engage your butt muscles, reach your left arm out. Open the chest and flex your right foot, like kind of Captain Morgan-y. Take your right knee to center, switch the shin into the left hand, right arm out to the side, and draw your right thigh across your body. Again, you kind of got to engage the thigh muscle, left side, squeeze your butt. Open the chest, reach your right arm out, reach. Come back to center, open both arms, send your right leg behind you and balance airplane. Balance, reach your arms out, firm both thighs, squeeze both sides of your butt. Squeeze. Rise up. Stretch right leg forward and release. Foot down, arms down. Both sides of your butt, right and left. Underutilized muscles. So I'm gonna like cue it a lot. Pick up your left shin. Hey, here's the thing. If you need a wall, go to the wall. Go to the wall. If you feel like you are tippy tonight, use the wall. Straighten, firm right leg, firm it. Squeeze your butt. Right arm out. Left knee to the left, Captain Morgan. As much as you're pulling your left knee open, use your left thigh muscles to even push your hips forward a little bit. Squeeze and firm, open the chest. Take your knee to center, switch right hand, left arm out, and take your left thigh across your body. Straighten, lock even, so strong. Reach. Both arms out, send your left leg behind you and balance. And balance. Look at something stable, like a piece of carpet. Come right back upright. Send your left leg forward. Balance. Ooh, that was close. Balance. And release. Peace fingers, right big toe. Peace fingers, right big toe. Left arm open. Right leg forward. Right leg to the right. Squeeze your butt. Right leg to center. Left hand, I'm going to grab the outside of my ankle. Left hand pulls my right leg to the left, right arm out to the right. Straighten your standing leg. As soon as I pointed at it, I lost my balance. Back to center and release. Peace fingers left side, pick up your left big toe. Leg forward, flex your foot. Right arm to the right, left leg to the left. This is called Padangusthasana, hand to foot pose. Left leg to center. Take the right hand to the foot. Left arm comes out and left leg to the right. Left leg back to center and release. Open your feet wide. Wider than shoulder width, not like as wide as like a forward bend. Toes point out. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Bend your knees. Turn your toes out. Drop your right shoulder down, look over your left. Bend your knees so you're kind of in a squat position. Come back to center. Left shoulder down, look over your right. Are you breathing? Breathe by the nose. Back to center. Come down a little bit lower, and again, squat, turn, twist, look over your left shoulder. Center and twist, look over right shoulder. Center, turn your feet parallel and bend forward. If you cannot reach the ground, grab something to put your hands on. And that might be behind you if you need a block or something to put your hands on. Don't hesitate, grab it. This is not at the expense of overstretching. So stretching should be done methodically. If you have the flexibility, of course, go for it. Go a little bit deeper. Maybe hands onto the top of the feet, the ankles. Shift your weight side to side. Move smoothly. Head below the heart. Change of perspective first, and then you get this really lovely pressure building. Wash your brain here. So bend the knees and soften. Center, come to center, roll up, belly in. Come up all the way. If you feel a little dizzy, you're okay. Blood pressure will change throughout class. Crisscross your feet in just a little bit more. Heels in, toes out. Squat low as you can go. Malasana. Hands, palms to prayer. Can you get your feet flat and then maybe parallel to each other? Shoulders come to the inside of the knees. If you need to put your hands on a block, yes, do it. Definitely belly in. Shift right, left, a couple times, very smoothly. Place your right hand on the floor. Push your right shoulder into your right knee and lift your left arm up. Twist. Take a breath. Exhale. Left hand down, push your left shoulder into the knee and reach your right arm up. And release. I'm going to turn to the side, drop your hips down, find your foam roller, and bring it under your upper back. So if there were a geographical point, it would be like right at the very bottom of your rib cage. I mean, sorry, your shoulder blades. Bottom of the shoulder blades, okay? Keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. Bring your hands behind your head and relax your body over the foam roller. I say relax, I'm instantly like, oh my God, I need to do this more. If this bothers your neck, like I like to kind of wrap my arms more around my head, but we will have a more elbow open position here shortly. But just for this kind of allowing portion, you can bring your elbows a little closer in so your head is more supported in your hands. From there, rock your upper body side to side. If it feels okay in the rocking motion, head comes back. And just rock side to side, lift your chin wherever it makes sense to do so. So I'm kind of dropping back, going to the right, and then lifting, and then drop back, go to the left, and lift. And you don't have to keep the foam roller exactly at that rib cage, bottom of the shoulder blade position. So add some other movements. Lift your hips off the floor and roll up and down the spine. Just between like 3 to 5 inches from the bottom of the shoulder blades toward the upper portion of the shoulder blades. So hips up, feet on the floor, roll side to side, back and forth, jaw relaxed, and breathing nice and easy. At any time, you can bring your hips back to the floor. Continue to rock side to side. Little movements, gentle. And let's take 3 more rounds of breath. As you exhale, hips back to the floor. Keep your hands behind your head, straighten your legs. Take 3 more breaths. Breathe as low towards the navel and lower toward the pubic bone, toward the toes. Bend your knees again. Lift your head, your upper body. Take one elbow down, roll to your side, use your free arm and remove your roller, lie on your back and stretch out into Shavasana. Here is another opportunity to bring your attention inward. Maybe you come back to that intention, the goal of the kriya that we did. The here I am, balance, finding your place in the cosmos, putting in some action, and then just surrendering the results of that. Excellent. Find your block or a rolled up towel. Bend your knees again. Lift your hips and bring the block underneath your pelvis. And the position here, landmark wise, is pelvis, the boniest part at the sacrum. Arms to your sides. Stretch your legs out, left leg, right leg. This is a passive back bend, and we're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. So instantly, right away, if there is a sharpness, simply bend your knees to bring your feet back on the floor. If the sharpness is tolerable, if it's like just the discomfort of feeling like, wow, I really need to stretch my hips and my spine, then please come back into the straight leg version. Arms at your sides. Bring your knuckles to the floor. Open up your chest. 5 long breaths. Breathe in by the nose. Expand the belly, maybe even pause at the top. And then exhale it out. Let your body drape over the block. If this is like old hat to you, and you feel like you need a little bit more, you can stretch your arms overhead and make it just a little bit more of a long body stretch. Feel the stretch into the side body and the ribs. The legs are completely passive. Abdominal wall, passive. Let your breath be free. Last exhale. On your next inhale, stretch and reach your arms all the way overhead if they weren't already. Flex your feet, reach your fingers open. Try and get every fingernail on the floor. Every fingernail on the floor. Stretch and spread out your hands. Stretch and reach. Take a breath. As you exhale, both hands to the right shin. So lift your right knee. And if you cannot quite grab your right shin, you can bring your hands to the back of your right thigh. Pull your right knee side to side. So because blocks are not soft usually, they have edges, you might have come across, not the most comfortable thing, but as best you can, use that to your advantage right now. If it is intolerable, feel free to adjust the block. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time here, so if you can just work with it, do it. Move your right leg side to side. And maybe, the edge of the block is actually giving your hips some trigger point therapy. Now pull the right knee towards you. Lift your left heel. Sweep your left leg gently to the right and left. It doesn't have to be a big movement. Press out through the left heel. Sweep your left leg side to side. This is part of the warm up for our peak pose tonight. And left leg back down. Bend the right knee, release your hands, right foot back to the floor. Bend the left knee, take your fingers to the block, lift your butt just a second and square your hips back onto the block. Stretch both legs out to the floor. Arms over the head. Open your palms, spread out your fingers and try to get all of your fingernails on the floor. Reach, reach, reach. This is really good for your hands. Everybody, we overdo it with our hands, and especially if it's part of your vocation. So open, fingernails down, little baby fingernail down. Can you do it? All of them down, stretch and reach, take a breath. And gently, hands come to left shin, bend your left knee, and move your left leg in the hip. So both legs relaxed in this position. And as best as you can, moving your left leg side to side in the hip. And maybe you're holding the back of your thigh instead of the front of your shin, that's fine. Move your left leg side to side. Massaging into the hip joint. As you rock side to side. Again, you are exploring range of motion and your tolerance for the block. But it puts a nice amount of pressure on the SI joint, the muscles that attach on the back of the pelvis. And a couple more times. Pull the left knee in towards your left shoulder, lift your right heel off the floor, and move your right leg in the hip joint. Sweep your right leg side to side. The right foot, the heel, does not have to be very far off the floor. And again, this movement can be minuscule. Doesn't take much. Maybe you're even just like a degree one way and the other. Release. Take your left foot to the floor. Bend both knees. Set both feet on the floor. Squeeze your hips, your glutes. Lift your hips and remove the block. Lower your hips. Arms to your sides, legs out. Corpse pose, Shavasana. Completely relax and receive. So we were lifted with our hips on the block for several minutes, 5-6 minutes. This passive extension of the spine helps to open the front of the body, stretch the front of the belly, the spine, the viscera. It helps to stretch the front of the pelvis, that incredibly packed area with muscles and tendons and viscera, and then into the legs. Pull your left knee up. Option to take your right forearm, pull your right knee up, take your right forearm over the right shin and grab both elbows. Head to the floor. Right knee towards the right shoulder. Elbows squared over your body. Relax your right leg, relax your left leg, and pull. Draw your right leg as close to you as you can. Take 3 more breaths. Soften your arms, grab your right shin and open your right knee to the right. So we did this standing. It's way, way, way different when you're not standing. Pull your right knee towards the floor, but keep your left hip anchored. Take your left hand actually onto the front of your hip bone and see if you can hold your left hip off, on the floor as you bring your right knee open. Take a breath and pull your right knee all the way over to the left into a twist. Right arm out to the side, left hand onto the outer part of the right thigh. Stretch your right arm out, lift your hand like 1/2 inch off the floor and just make very, very gentle slow motion waves. Like, hey, super slow. I'm waving at ya. Keep reaching out through the right arm. Breathe in and out. Take 1 more breath. Bend both knees. Roll to your back. You can use your hands to push yourself back upright. Take bridge, lift your hips, feet on the mat, walk your shoulder heads underneath you, squeeze and firm the seats, push your feet into the floor and arch your spine. Lower, hips down. Straighten both legs out, lift your arms over your head, big stretch, full body stretch. Left knee up, and option to wrap your forearms over the shin. So grab your elbows as you're able. Elbows, pointy part. Hug your left knee towards your left shoulder and square your arms over your torso. Both legs relaxed. If this is not working, grab your shin. You can always back off lots of levels. You can also go a little deeper. There's always more. Breathing steadily through the nose. Try to bring your left knee to your left shoulder. Use your breath, your exhale breath, to pull the knee even closer in. And this has benefit as well to the forearms, giving some good pressure to the bones. One more breath. You can do that all night. Take your left hand to your left shin, bring your right hand to your right hip bone, and pull your left knee open to the left. So the left foot is, for me anyway, is not touching the floor. It could, okay, there it goes. Now it's touching, but it doesn't have to. Use the weight of your leg as a kind of, to increase the intensity on this hip opener. This will matter very soon. Okay, take your right hand to the left shin, pull your left knee over and across you into a twist. Left arm out from the shoulder, right hand onto the left knee, and super slow motion wave left arm. Shoulders approaching the floor, left shoulder maybe close. With the right hand, relax the grip. You're still holding your right hand on the knee, but it doesn't have to be a white knuckle. Jaw relaxed. Belly rises and falls. Super slow motion wave, last round. And roll back to your back. Bend your knees. Lift your hips up for a bridge. Lower your hips down. Hug your knees up very gently. Just rest. Wind removing pose, rest here. If it feels like you need a little rock and roll, take it side to side. So my peak pose tonight is something called tortoise. And in order to get our hips warmed up enough for it, there's a bunch of other things we need to do. But I know we want to do some shoulder stuff. So let's flip over onto our belly. Come onto your belly. And I'm going to use my left arm so you can see it. Bring your left arm out just a little bit lower than shoulder height. With your right hand, press your right hand into your mat and roll onto your left rib cage. Continue to press your right fingertips into the floor. So I'm going to just turn to the other side so you can get a visual. Press your right fingertips into the floor. And I bent my right leg to put my foot on the ground to support me. This might be really, really, really intense. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you can take your right hand behind you and maybe interlace your hands. I know that sounds crazy. I'll show you so you can see. So in order to interlace your hands, you would have to rotate your bottom arm so you can reach your hands together. Do not do this at the expense of overstretching, right? Like I can already tell that's too much for me. So I like to keep my supported hand in front of my face so I can see it. And then just kind of make very, very, very gentle shifting. You can also grab the floor with your left fingertips. So this clearly is stretching open the front of the chest, pectoral muscle on the left shoulder. Take one more breath. Very, very gently roll back onto your belly, roll to your belly, bend your knees, bring your forehead onto your palms, the back of your hands, make a pillow, and rest your forehead. Windshield wiper your knees. Windshield wiper your knees. You can crisscross your ankles. You can also just go regular windshield wiper. All right, just so you can see, I'm going to turn the other direction for the other side. So right arm comes out from the shoulder between like shoulder height and hip height. Left hand on your mat, roll onto your right side rib cage. Use your left hand to support your weight. Push your fingertips into the floor. Maybe you bend your left leg so your foot is on the mat. Well, it's actually for me, not, it's on the floor, not on my mat. So remember, like the other side, if you'd like, you can bring your top arm around behind you and perhaps clasp your hands. So I'm going to skip that because I don't like how it feels. But if that feels good on your shoulders, give it a try. Otherwise, press your left fingertips into the mat. Spread out your fingers on your right arm if your arm is free. You can also gently press your hands, your fingertips into the mat. Breathe steadily. This is the evil shoulder pose. Evil shoulders. Wonder why it's called that. All right. Bring your left hand down back to the space in front of your face. Roll onto your belly. Pull both hands in underneath your forehead, rest your forehead. Bend your knees and windshield wiper. Bring your knees back to center, turn your toes under, bring your elbows under your shoulders, bring your palms together, lift your hips up into a plank. So a forearm plank. Brought in across your collarbones. Hug your legs together. So walk your feet close in. Hug your inner thighs together. Lift your kneecaps. Squeeze your butt. Push your wrists and back, or the outside rather, of your hand into the floor. Push. Firm your thighs. Firm your thighs. Shift your weight forward and float toward the top of your mat. Shift your weight back now. Belly in, shift to the back of your mat. And again, float forward, point your toes. And again, float back, heels toward the back of your space. Take your knees to the floor. Press your hands into the mat and walk into child's pose. Open your knees if you like, or just rest your belly on your thighs. Walk both hands to the right, all the way, as far as you can go. Relax your neck so your head hangs. No forcing, just be right here. Deep breath in. Complete exhale in the pose. Stay here, exhale. And as you inhale, walk to the other side as far as you can go. As far as you can go, one hand might go further than the other. Like obviously you could walk, bring your left hand all the way to your left foot. But the right hand has a limit. Be there, relax your neck. Breathe into the right side body. And come back to center. Come to table. Take a breath. Round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, drop your belly, cow pose. And again, cat. And one more cow. Neutral. Lift your right arm, twist, open your chest, thread your right arm under the left, bring your right shoulder to the floor. I'll turn. Right shoulder to the floor, so the side of your head, your right ear is on the floor approximately. And just like we did in the evil shoulder, use your left hand to lever yourself and twist. Relax your legs. If it's too much pressure on the shoulders, adjust, make your adjustments. Some of you may like to take your left arm around all the way behind you and grab your right thigh, your right hip, and breathe. This is quite the shoulder posture. Jaw relaxed. Wherever you are breathing. Okay. Want to add on to this. Take one more breath. And bring your left hand back to the mat so you can see it. Push your left hand into the floor. Left leg. Slide your left leg open so you're in like an outrigger position, like you're a sailboat with an outrigger. Make sense? And if you're not sure, take a peek at me. Walk your body more to the center so you're still on your right cheek or, the side of your head. You might even be able to grab your left foot with your right hand. Left arm maybe, flip around behind you, grab your right hip. So this is neck and shoulder and hip and spine. It's like that rainbow song. You guys know the rainbow song? Red and yellow and pink and blue, something like that. So it's hips and shoulders and spine and hamstrings. I feel it in my right deltoid, rear deltoid as well. What does it feel like to take your left arm open, like out from the shoulder toward the ceiling, but let it dangle? Take a big breath into the right side rib cage. As you exhale, left hand back to the floor. Release your left foot from your right hand. Pull your outrigger back in so your knees are together. Push your left hand into the floor. Bring your upper body upright. Holy mackerel. Child's pose, hips to heels, stretch your arms forward. Relax your shoulders and take 3 breaths. Keep your forearms where they are, forearms. Look and check that your forearms and hands, your elbows are in the same plane. Your hands, your elbows parallel to each other. Shift your weight forward, turn your toes under, lift your knees and come into dolphin pose. And if you're not sure what dolphin is, it is sort of like downward dog, except you are resting on your, not resting, your forearms are supporting you rather than just your hands. What I want you to explore from here, lift your left leg and maybe do a few little hop kicks, balancing on your forearms. The top of your head should not be on the floor. And maybe stall with the kick. If it's too much, just sort of stay in the dolphin. Left foot down, knees down. Child's pose. Reset your forearms. Forearms parallel to each other. Turn your toes under, lift your hips up, dolphin pose. Broaden across your collarbones. Lift your right leg and do your little hops. Just, 5 of them, maybe 10. Maybe you stall for half a second. If you flip over backwards, I think, you're usually going to be okay. One last little hop. Back to child's pose. Take your arms alongside your body. Reach your arms forward, come to table. We still have the thread the needle on the left side. Lift your left arm up, open the chest, twist. Thread your left arm under the right. So your left shoulder and the side of your cheek, your ear comes to the mat. Press your right fingertips into the floor and rotate your upper back. Breathe. Expand your rib cage and belly. Breathe, 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 breathe. As you exhale, twist more. Twist. Perhaps take your right hand around to your left hip, and we just have like 2 more breaths. Okay. Bring your right hand back so you can see it onto the mat, and take your right foot out to the right so the sole of the foot is flat. Some of you may be able to reach your foot with your left hand, but puts a really intense stretch on the left side, shoulder, arm. Push your right fingertips into the floor. So I called this outrigger a minute ago. Hope you understand what that looks like. You can feel it though, right? Pull your left shoulder a little bit more towards your right foot. Maybe you explore playing with your right arm to open the shoulder. Relax your jaw. I know this is a very pretzel-y pose. So when things get complicated, often, we create tension, or we go to this place where we hold tension. So notice those areas that you might be holding tension and let it go. What does it feel like to stretch your right arm overhead and then let it float in space? Feel the deep stretch to the spine. Giant breath in, take a giant breath. Complete exhale. Release your right hand back to the floor. Slide your left shoulder back to the left. If you need to use your hands to coax your right knee back next to your left, do it. Bring your left hand back to the mat under your shoulder and press up. Table. Walk your hands forward, gently pelvis to the mat. So you're in seal pose. Seal pose is a back bend. If you are like clenching your hips, your glutes here, this might increase the challenge. It actually might relieve the pressure as well. So explore that for yourself. For me, it feels better not to clench, to engage. So I'm just gonna stay soft. Tip your body side to side. So I want to build us toward our peak pose now, called tortoise pose. Got to have really open hips and shoulders. So good call there, machete. Open in the shoulders. Rock yourself one more time, right and left. Turn your toes under and gently press back to table again. Come onto your knuckles and bring your block nearby. And if you have your rolled up towel, put it under your left knee. If that's like too weird to balance on, well, just try it. Try it to start. I have my left hand on the block, my left knee on the rolled up towel for some cushion, but it's also bringing me some height in this dragon pose. Start to walk your right foot forward. Now, bring your block under your shoulders, under your chest, and bring both elbows onto your block. Try to open up your chest. If you're like, I don't think I need the block, ditch the block and bring your elbows to the floor. And we're going to hold this for 2 minutes. Bring your attention inward. If a little bit of rocking makes sense for you, do it, but without, going, it's not an invitation to fidget, right? This is my classic instruction, not an invitation to fidget. Relax your left side hip. Relax your belly. So this is that overstepping dragon position that we did last week, I think. Right foot is further than
It's almost even further than my elbow here. It's a very, very deep dragon. If this bothers your head to let it hang, you can also use a block to either on the middle or tallest setting to rest your forehead on. You are more than halfway through, so wherever you are, just stick with it. Jaw relaxed, breathing steadily. What does it feel like to turn your left toes under and almost like flex your left foot? Overstepping dragon. Giant breath in. Start to make your way up. Hands come under the shoulders onto the floor. Square your knee on the rolled up towel and slide your hips back into a half split. Point flex your right foot. Shift your hips. Slide your right foot back and switch sides. Actually, let's stand up on the knees. Stand up on your knees. So no padding under your knees. Stand up on your knees, hands to hips, and just take an easy supported back bend. Hips forward, lift your chest. Head back if you like. Head up, come up, and let's switch sides. Okay, so I'm gonna rest my right knee on the rolled up towel for cushion. Bring my block first under my right hand and walk left foot as far forward as I can get it without it being crazy open. So this is our overstepping dragon, and notice a difference side to side. Okay, so from here, of course, you can keep your hands on your mat or come down onto your elbows. I'm going to use my block here for a moment. A little bit of movement side to side. Shifting very, very gently. If you need to back off, do it. Like this is, this is supposed to make you feel better in your body. If it is just too much, back off. Less is more. And as I say that, I'm about to lose my block and come down onto my forearms. But I know my body. I've been, at this yoga asana practice for a long time. It is a play, that cosmic dance, the interplay of pushing a little bit past your comfort level and staying there. Like you're still on the horizon. You're still on the horizon. You can still see the shore, but you're just pushing a little bit beyond past the edge of the horizon. Can you relax into the left side hip? Turn your right toes under if they aren't already. Notice how that changes things. So we had those really nice shoulder openers, moving toward powerful leg and hip opener. It's also spine. One more breath. Bring your hands, palms under your shoulders. Slide your hips back into a half split. Point and flex left foot. You can almost expect a half split in class on Monday nights. And guys, do it before class even starts. You know, set up your space, do a dragon or two, get yourself ready. So lots of preparatory postures tonight, all for like just a sweet moment in the tortoise pose. Bring your left knee back in line with right. You can ditch your towel. And let's again shift the hips forward into seal. I'm going to be on my knuckles. And one thing with seal is it's a lot on the shoulders. If you feel like you've done too much already, maybe you come down onto your forearms into Sphinx pose. If you liked how the seal felt, seal pose is like downward facing dog, except everything except your arms is relaxed. Everything is relaxed except your hands. Press your fingers into the floor. It's actually okay in this to let your shoulders draw up around your ears. Like, you know, that's like what we don't do in almost every posture. But here it's okay, because this is a passive stretch. What does it feel like to shift here? Press alternating into the hands. Draw the belly in and up. Shift right. Shimmy your shoulders, very slow. Shift left. Come to center, turn your toes under and walk yourself back again, very, very carefully. Child's pose. If your ears are ringing, so are mine. Release the effort. Stretch your arms out, come to table. Okay. I'm gonna turn onto my mat and unroll my towel. We're gonna hold a frog just for like 2 minutes, 2-minute frog. So I'm gonna unfold my towel. It's so much laundry to do, isn't it? Unfold my towel and put it long ways at the back of my mat. So this is now the back of my mat. Okay. So from here, table, face you guys, start to open the knees, open the feet. So the feet are in line with your knees. This is a good place to stay. If you like, you can rock yourself side to side. If you'd like to come down onto forearms, good place to work. Rock yourself side to side. We're just going to do this for a couple of minutes. If movement feels distracting, come to stillness. So you can be on your hands, palms. Could also be on your block. Feet open, so the inside of your feet is touching your floor. Knees open to feel the hip stretch, external rotation of the legs. What happens if you engage your thigh muscles and your glutes and then relax? This again is exploratory. A little bit of movement. No forcing ever. Just a little bit longer. Stay here or come with me. Walk both hands over to the right. Hands, forearms, whatever you got. Open and broaden across the shoulders. Take a few more breaths. Frog pose. And walk yourself to the other side. I'm going to come down onto my elbows. Jaw relaxed and breathing normally. Right? Yep, I know you are. Stay with your breath. This is your anchor throughout class. And back to center. Come up onto your hands, palms. To come out, roll forward. Roll forward, belly comes to the mat, bend your knees, and maybe you can slide your knees together. No rush, no rush. Stretch out and breathe. Embrace the sensations. It's really normal to want to self-soothe after something like we just did. But see if you can stay with the sensations and just notice what's happening. Can you feel this transfer from your hips, your groin, to your feet, the soles of your feet, up into your back, maybe up into your shoulders? There's so much. With belly on the floor, inhale and push your belly into the mat. Expand your back body. And as you exhale, soften a little bit. And one more breath like that. Okay, here it is. Press yourself up. Now. Oh my gosh. Let me just check our time. I feel like, yeah. Have some water. Tortoise pose is a cousin of frog. And let me just show you from the side what we will be doing. Ish. So we'll warm up first. Actually, let's sit on our towel. Hips on the towel and feet wider than the mat. This will be kind of indication number one of where you are. If your low back is, well, if you aren't able to comfortably bring your shoulders to the insides of the knees, this is a good place to work. And let me grab the block again. So I have my feet wider than my mat, and I can just rest my elbows on a block. I'll turn to face you so you can see. So feet wide, maybe elbows on a block. So it's a very, very compressed forward bend. Feet flat. I mean, or you can be on your heels. It's totally okay to be on your heels. If you're able, you can take your hands to the outsides of your feet. So thread your arms under and grab your ankles from the outside. We're just going to stay here for a minute. No forcing, draw the belly in as you let your upper body round. So the shoulders eventually start to settle lower than your knees. What happens if you scoop in your belly even more? Gently holding your ankles with your hands. Head and shoulders lower even more. Okay, for just a breath or two, press your upper arms into your knees. So kind of push toward the knees, lift as if you could lift your knees off the floor. Release your hands. Use your hands to walk yourself up. Walk yourself up all the way. Bring your knees together, hands behind you, and windshield wiper. I'm also windshield wipering my head. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, it felt right. It felt right. Okay. Lose your towel. I'm really debating if I should be turned to the side or not. I'll be kind of at a 3/4 angle. How about that? Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. So this is my right hand. I'm going to take my right hand under my right leg, just my right side, and straighten the left leg. Take the right hand, keep the right hand where it is, left hand onto right ankle. Start to slide your right arm out. Start to pull your right leg over your right shoulder. So I call this like, putting on a backpack kind of, sort of. We're just going to be here. So you can kind of rock and roll side to side just a bit, very gently. Let your head drop down. Feel the stretch in the back. Notice it, like be with it. Don't run from it. Giant breath in. Very, very gently pull your right arm out. Sit upright. Use your hands. Wiggle your toes. Let's bend your knees and come down onto your elbows behind you and windshield wiper here. Do you see where we're going? We're just going to do one arm at a time. Okay. Here we go. Other side, and I'll turn again. This way, a little different angle. So open the feet wide. Left arm, bring it under the left leg. And, observe, notice side to side differences. I'm going to straighten the right leg, bring my right hand onto my left foot, my ankle, and slide my left hand back. So eventually, maybe you're able to put your leg on like a backpack. And we're going to just hang out here. We're just going to hang out here. Let your spine round. This is part of the posture, at least in the prep. Feel the stretch, leg, hip, shoulder. Do you feel the compression on the body? Before we try for both sides, we'll come back to our back. So to come out, right hand onto the floor, slide your left arm out very, very carefully. Lie back all the way. No props, just you. This might have to be a 2-part class. Yeah, I think this might be a good place to start to close things down. So as you lie here, bring the legs closer in corpse pose, arms at your sides. Take some steady breaths. Just as we have when coming out of postures before, notice where you feel and how you feel the shifts in the body. Notice the blood pressure changes. Sometimes there's a sense that like, oh man, I need to like crack something. Take a few more breaths and just watch what's happening to your body. That was a lot of work to the back, the hips, the shoulders. Please bend your knees. Walk your heels closer towards your body and lift your hips up into bridge. This will help reinvigorate your muscles that we just really stretched hard. Lower your hips. Cross your right thigh over your left. Bring both legs, your hips, over to the right. Drop both knees over to the left. Twisted roots pose. Stretch your right arm out. Maybe your left arm comes onto your right thigh. And settle in. Three more breaths. Jaw relaxed, breathing normally. Uncross your legs, roll to your back. Walk your heels close to your hips. Square your hips, lift your hips up off the floor into bridge. And lower again. Cross your left thigh over the right. Walk your right foot to the left, take both hips to the left. Now take both knees over to the right. Twisted roots, right hand on left thigh. Left arm out. Feel the twist along the central column of the spine. And everything spiraling off of the spine. Three more breaths. So tonight turned into tortoise prep with tortoise happening at the very end. It is a very demanding posture and requires flexibility,
So I'll pick it up again next week. Let's roll to our backs, roll all the way to your back. Find your block and bring your block under your upper back, under your shoulders, kind of like we had our foam roller earlier. Block under your shoulder blades, between your shoulder blades and kind of actually just like right along the shoulder blades. So the upper part of the trapezius is not on the block. Bring your head to the floor, and if your head does not touch, take your arms behind your head, your hands behind your head, and see if just after a couple of breaths, you will release to the floor. So the block is supporting the rib cage. If it is okay, stretch your legs out. Just take a few breaths. This is it. Just to finish with some chest opening after all of that forward bending. If you don't need your hands behind your head, take your arms overhead into a full body stretch. Full body stretch, reach your right arm and then left. And again, right. And again, left. Bring your elbows alongside your body, bend your knees and roll to your back. Use your free arm, the top arm, to move your block. Roll to your back, block out from underneath you and stretch out into Shavasana. Corpse pose. There is so much we could do, you guys. I could make this easily like a 5-hour class. But in the interest of your time, I won't do that. Please do take at least 3 minutes. If you have 10 minutes longer to rest your body in Shavasana here, take the time. Give yourself that. Have a little cat nap with your actual cats. And when you are ready to complete your practice, do so gently. We practice cultivating self-compassion, even in some of these really challenging, especially in the challenging postures. So a little bit of Shavasana is a good way to keep the self-compassion going. You are amazing. Thank you for your time tonight. And I hope to see you again soon. Take it easy.